Did you get shot, and is there proof?
Oh boy.
Oh, it's not a proof. It's not a
Oh,
proof.
That's,
I
there
showed
we
you
we
go.
don't
before. I
we
showed you
don't want to
before.
see. We don't want to see.
Okay,
We
you
don't
don't got
want
to
to see.
see it. Yeah, I got shot in East Orange, New Jersey, on Money Central.
Question from Tommy. If all this info had come out in the beginning, no one would be questioning you. But you understand why people do now? The stories have changed, and then people lose faith in you, man. I want to believe you, dude.
I want to answer that too after him. Go ahead, Courtney.
It ain't that they come out. It's sometimes, like I said, that people get powerful by using money to make it comfort for people don't to look the different way. I've been spoke about it. I didn't pay the right person to speak more highly of it. So he got buried. I was more, thank God I was alive. You understand? Sometimes you gotta sacrifice something to be that. I sacrificed myself, not for sex, for whatever. I told God I would stop being a D ass. I was too arrogant with the money. You understand? That's why I was made to be more, but I still kept pumping. You understand? Money drove me crazy at the time, but it ain't make me powerful. It just drove me more crazy because I had control. My parents had money. When I got control of it, it just made me stupid. You understand?
Leave that question up because I want to respond to Tommy. Leave
Oh,
that question
all
up.
right. I'll find it up.
You can.
Let me find it. Here it is. So you want to come on and respond,
Yeah.
Chris?
Well,
There you go.
Tommy, reach out to me sometime. I'd love to talk to you. I watch your show. I watch your stuff. I have a lot of stuff, man, that will answer a lot of questions for you in life, in a lot of different cases, man. So I like your stuff. I think you have a good personality. I watch your stuff. Come find me. Find me. Reach out to me. You can find me. So anyway, okay. The info cannot come out in the beginning. When you're talking about whistleblowers, when you're talking about sources, look, if somebody went to Courtney and goes, hey, Courtney, who's your source? Prove it, right? Like if I was the investigator or you were Tommy too, right? You may not be able to prove it. They don't want you to prove it because if you get too close to them, like Icarus, right? You die. If you get too close to the sun, okay? And that's the whole thing is this had to come out the way it did. That's why they needed me. Wade was important. Courtney's the kingpin, okay? And wherever
Stop
he
saying
wants
that.
to say, what?
Stop saying I'm a kingpin. Stop saying that.
Oh, sorry. So, but I'm saying he's the key figure, okay? So when it came down, this is how it had to come out. And I understand where he goes, man, I want to believe you, dude. I get it. Look, when I had worked a lot of cases, man, I didn't believe on OJ's thing. I didn't believe OJ had an accomplice either at first. I didn't. And I wanted to believe it, but it took time. It took other courageous people to come forward, to whistleblow, to be sources. That's what happened with Kim's Lost Words. It started with this. And it didn't get out there enough. And then I put my own spin on this. And that's what, and Wade helped too. And so did Courtney. We wouldn't know who Courtney is if he didn't come forward. And so I never knew if Courtney would come forward. I really didn't. I protected him and any other sources, absolutely 100%. But now Courtney kind of, and I think I tell him all the time, it's a once in a lifetime situation. Just ride it, man. Help the victims, help take down this monster, keep going. And I mean, he's one of the biggest stories in the game right now, period. So.
Tommy's added, with all due respect, that wax is confusing the hell out of everybody. Facts would have been better than wax.
Wax? Okay, Tommy, is he going to show you his cards right out in the beginning? Is he going to show you all his poker cards? Let him answer if he wants to be in real time. When I do cases, I don't show you my aces. I don't show them to you. I don't have to show them to you, right? That's how it happens. Courtney didn't show me everything. He didn't give me everything. I took a leap of faith. I believed him. I believed Kim Porter. Okay? And I said this before. In the end, if it turned out, if Courtney wasn't here right now, pretend he's not even here. If it turned out in the end that none of it was real, oh well. Oh well. Then I got duped. And that's okay. The media does fake stories all day long on O.J. Simpson, Natalie Wood, Zodiac. They give more press, John Bonet. They give way more press to fake stories than they do real ones. That's where I learned a lot of this from, unfortunately. So nothing against him. I don't know what he means by wax, but if he's saying like, oh, a bunch of hubbub here and there, well, that's how it goes. And he probably knows that too if he's ever been a whistleblower or an informant. You don't show your cards.
So, Courtney, you're getting asked, is it true that at your TD Jakes, what's that? TD Jakes twin
Whoa,
freak?
TD Jakes. Twin freak. Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I get that. I used to get Mr. Brown. I glad I just get all the questions. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
Sim wants to know, Courtney, what do you mean you sacrificed yourself?
When I mean sacrifice myself, was that when I got into the industry, I sacrificed myself being so official and loyalty to the game to it almost got me killed. You understand? I didn't sacrifice myself by doing what those guys did. Or man, I sacrificed myself by working harder for my kids to grow up to have more. I sacrificed myself for them. You understand? I stayed up late instead of when I made sure I promised I'd be home for the weekend and take them. I made it home for the weekend. And I used the money to comfort that when I didn't make it, I sent it through Western Union or MoneyGram. You understand? Not doing stupid stuff. I could have what got me shot in East Orange. I pulled over to go buy bootleg music. Movies. It was 5 for 20. I knew it, bought it. I was gonna go watch it and head on to West Orange of 280. If you're from Jersey, you know it. You get off at Day Street and then you can jump back on to go to West Orange. That's what I mean by sacrifice myself. I put my own self on the line to pull over, and I didn't pay attention.
And he swam with sharks because he's already in the music industry. He's already screwed. Right. Same thing with me in Hollywood. I was already screwed. So once he dipped his foot in the water in that pool, somebody could die. And Tupac lost his life. And so did his friends. Many other people did. They're not the only ones. We know that. So it's wild. It's a part of pop culture. His is more music. See, mine was more TV film. That's why Courtney and I got to bond. I felt we were similar. Courtney wasn't a household name. He did big stuff. He did some really great songs and music. And people try to put him down and say he's not this and that. I was the same way. They used to say that about me. I never heard of Chris Todd. I never heard of Todd Guzzi. He used to do that to me all the time, man. So now he's in the sun. He's probably more in the sun than I am on Diddy. But so there's a lot of collateral damage that comes from fame, money game, movies, TV, music. It's treacherous, man. So
Tommy's asked if you guys are okay with him coming on, just to ask you a couple of questions.
It's up to Courtney. I said I'm down.
Who?
Tommy Scoville. He's a former bank robber. He was in the federal system.
And sure, I don't care.
Named in the lawsuit.
Tommy, you've got the StreamYard access. If you want to come on and ask these guys a few questions. But while we're waiting for you to come on, Sarah wants to know, won't Courtney get charged for having the tapes too, if they're legit?
Courtney didn't make the tapes. They're not. He's not. This is like that AT. Sorry to Courtney, but it's like the AT2 guy. These guys need to go to jail. Put these guys in jail. He didn't do any. He didn't make the tapes. Diddy did, and his cohorts. Anyway, sorry. All the questions are for Courtney. I just feel so left out. Just so left out. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Courtney. Respond to that one because that is a good one.
Well, no, I won't be charged because first of all, they was given to me. Most of it was thrown in the fire. Some was lost during divorce, separation. At the time, I didn't care. Like sometimes, like if you own McDonald's, you eat McDonald's every day because you own it. No, you may just do it for franchise. You know what I'm saying? You buy Jordans to play for look. You don't play for because you think you're gonna play basketball. No, I should be charged for having it because I didn't make him. I've never been to a Diddy event, even the basketball games. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go.
And that's what Matt Cox tried to say too. And Matt Cox tried to say, "Oh, you can go to jail for that." People, man, people got to like chill out with like when whistleblowers or sources have materials, they don't go to jail. Do you put reporters in jail when they break stories? How many Epstein reporters went to jail? Like, just people like think like, yeah, if he sat on these things and he knew what they were. But hey, Tommy, welcome in.
Yeah, so Tommy's here from the Lifeboat channel, folks. If you're not subscribed, check his channel out. Tommy has got that
Jaguar's coming back. I'm getting
prison knowledge and legal knowledge, which makes him a great analysis of the Diddy situation. And I do believe he's got some questions for Courtney and Chris.
Here comes Jaguar.
And I meant, and listen, I mean no disrespect. I'm dead serious when I believe this. I read the book when it first came out, and there was so much in that book to me that seems like it should be real. And I know that the rest of the world wants to believe it too. But I'm a convict who screwed up the first 46 years of his life, like massively. And unfortunately, it's happened to me in courts, happened to me everywhere. If your story changes at all. And that's I think what happened. And I understand that there probably had to be a rollout of how you guys did it. But I think for a lot of people, they're scratching their head. And the narrative has come out in a million movies, right? The scenario of, hey, man, if anything happens to me, this stuff's got to get turned over. And that's kind of what everybody assumed this is and was. Right? So if somebody passes in 2018, but the stuff doesn't get released until 2024, I understand being sick and all those things. But if it wasn't that, then that's confusing because that's what kind of everyone thought it was.
Well, I want to say something before this. Well, let me say this too. Why didn't somebody else put it out? Why didn't somebody else do it? Just like in the Scarface line. Then why didn't you, man? Oh, I could have got somebody else $50. Then why didn't you? See, they didn't have anybody that had the courage to do it. That's why they needed Courtney. And that's why Courtney needed someone like me. That's when we merged together, that's what made it sing. Courtney didn't need me. So if he really want to do it himself, he could have done it himself. What do you need me for?
I get that. But what was sort of the mandate when you got the tapes? Did you get the tapes with the instruction of, hey, if something happens to me, you need to do something with this? I'm confused about, I guess, the very origins of when this thing was handed over to you, because I think you said you didn't know Kim at all, right? Or you met her just once or something like that. This seems like a pretty huge responsibility to hand over to somebody that she doesn't know very well or doesn't know at all.
I think what it was at the time, I was at the right place at the right time. I was there recording. The person spoke out. Yo, and then she heard my name. Yo, I know him. At the time, stuff was going on in his life. And then I got it. And then he heard I got it. Somebody backdoored him. And that's what happened to him. And I was already gone. I didn't stay long enough. I didn't die on the plane. I didn't die at that house in Atlanta. I got home. God made it that I was okay to get home. I got home. Even when I got shot, I didn't fall out of the street. I asked God, please don't let me down the street for my family. I had to put teddy bears and candles. I walked to the hospital. Honestly. Anybody from New Jersey would tell you, yes, he did walk from the projects to the hospital. You understand? After being shot multiple times, I didn't lay there for the ambulance to come. I didn't lay down.
I want to jump in too, if I can. Sorry, Courtney. Courtney will yell at me if he wants to. Tommy, there's a lot of things he's not going to tell you. I'm just going to translate it for you because you're a smart guy, and I know what you want. I don't think you're going to get it. And I'm not interrupting. Courtney can say whatever he wants, but I'm good at this. I know what's going on with like everybody's position, and you're absolutely asking the correct questions, but it just might be too much. It might dig too deep.
You know what? Yeah. Listen, I respect that. This has happened to me before with other people, and if that's the case, that's kind of the situation. And I'll tell you right now, I completely respect the crap out of that. I wish, for the sake of all of this and the damage it could have done, that was the statement on day one. if everybody had come out and said, there are so many details about this that for the sake of saving everybody's ass in this, we're not going to talk about how exactly this came to be. And we're not going to do any kind of this narrative because unfortunately, there's a million of me. I'm just a little dude with a channel, but there are a million channels of people that are asking those questions.
But I did say that from day one. And the people that tried to make comments about me saying I pretended to be a black guy, I told them there was an African-American source that went by Jamal Millwood. Was I right? Yes. See, it wasn't my name. I also told everybody about these supposed tapes, right? That they would be fire. And if people found out about certain things, there'd be problems. So you're right. There's millions of you who want to know. Everybody wanted to know on OJ too, but it never came out. So I'm not saying it'll never come out what you're really getting at, because I know what you're getting at. And I'm kind of the same way with you. I do want to know too, because even if you say, here's Courtney, let's say he got his stuff from XYZ person or persons. Yeah, you might say, prove it. He may not be able to prove it to you, nor want to prove it to you. So that's my response to that.
I get it. I really do. And you know what? It's tough because people will get raked over the coals for that answer. But because they're going to say it's easy to say, if we say this, but in your defense, right? Just sort of playing this in a fair fashion. There's a lot of bodies surrounding this dude. I kind of wish, and this is one of those situations. If this is a guy that was victimizing Courtney and victimizing everyone else, it's tough because it's going to come out in drips and drabs, and that's going to cause people. I really want to believe this more than any of you. Believe me, I really want to believe this. I hate, and I think everyone else who bought this book and everybody else that watches this, the reason that we get a big audience when you guys are around is because no one wants to believe that Kim's words died with her. I don't think anybody wants to believe that she didn't get some opportunity to speak, the truth that was happening to her. And I think for that reason, everybody wants to believe, and that's why this is bringing on the ire that it is because we live in a world where up there and they watch CNN. Down here, people watch things and then they go deep dive and they start trying to chase things down and they watch every interview and they look for little inconsistencies. It's what we do. It's sort of a hobby for this genre. And unfortunately, when you have something that has to be controlled this tightly as a narrative, sometimes it gets the sleuths questioning.
And I think they'll always
wait, Chris. Let me say this to respond back to that. It started. Think about this. Kim came to New York from Georgia. She wanted to be successful. She had a dream. She wanted the white gate, the big houses. She dated Albie Shore. She turned on being with Albie Shore's best friend or good friend. Had twins after she done had a baby by them. Is she a bad person because she left her husband and then dated Shaun? No. Is she a bad person because what happened to Shakir Stewart because he dated him? No. The person who kept letting this wheel turn and kept paying to do it, he's where he's supposed to be at. That's enough proof. And it ain't, you don't got to question me or the book. It's proof. If it walk like a chicken, it lay eggs like a chicken, it eats, tastes like a chicken, it's a chicken. If he did all this and people is responding behind it, it's true. If Usher gave these girls herpes and he was at the hospital, like G said, because his butt was ripped up, he didn't say anything. Why he didn't say anything? Ask the victims. I'm saying it. Still, the victims today, they successful. They don't want to say anything. It's the reason why, because they think they won't be the person who they are today. Even Justin Bieber, you understand? He was there at the parties. Kevin Hart, he was there at the parties. They not saying anything because you know what? They think it's gonna make them smaller who they are. Albie Shore just spoke out. He said what happened to him. Why he didn't say anything? Nobody answers this question. A lot of people ain't here today. It ain't a train crash just because you're at the back end. Don't mean you wasn't in a train crash because the front of it hit. It's a domino effect. people wake up and see what it is. They scared because they worrying about their jobs, how they gonna pay for their kids to go to school, pay for their mortgage. I'm not scared because you know why? It was already written and planned for that. God made this happen. That at the end, he was chasing down on people. He forgot about me. Do you understand? He forgot about me at the end of that train. I was in a train wreck. I didn't die because that train didn't flip over in that back, but I'm still here. That's why. I ain't speak out because he was
Yeah.
in jail. I've been speaking out before he was in jail.
And I think what he's saying too is that Kim's part of the story. Even if we can't believe every single word Kim says and what she saw, there's all these other victims. There's all this other stuff he did.
Yeah, the
Look,
proof is there. Hold on, Shaun. The other daughter out of the twins, it was Kim's best friend.